Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to FTB Skies. Last episode, we did a little bit of work with elemental craft, and we got a few things built, or at least got some stuff started to be stored over here in the corner. So I've been very just kind of messing around doing a few little things in between episodes, mainly just making a few parts. And where is the box? The box. Made a few more of the drenched iron ingots and made a few more of the white rock just so that we can kind of move forward. I also went ahead and made one of these instrumental output retrievers. They're pretty cheap, pretty simple to make, and all they do is just kind of help you automagic the system just a little bit easier. So you just kind of hopper in whatever it is that you want, and as soon as it's complete, it'll pull it out and put it into the chest or an inventory. And I do believe this will actually push down into the thing as well. I just, was cheaper to make the hopper than it was to make another one of those. So, what we want to do today a little bit more, we're going to go upstairs real quick and touch on a couple of things, but I do want to kind of work a little bit more on this because I have kind of found out that the best way to get as much scrap out of the ancient debris that we're going to get if we ever make any, if we ever get to that point, is going to be with this mod. So, with the elemental craft process of being able to duplicate ores or produce more ores, we'll be able to make a single netherite ingot out of a single ancient debris. Whereas currently the best technology that I can see so far outside of that is going to be mechanism, and that would be like I think it'd take 1.5 or 1.25 ancient debris to make a netherite ingot using mechanism. For whatever reason, this is not part of the 6 times process or the 5 times process or the ore duplication process that is mechanism. And I guess it's fine. It's okay. It's whatever, when you have a quest that you're trying to achieve down here in the overpowered section, which is what we're going to start working through. I think my goal for the remainder of this series, given how simple and easy this pack is turning out to be, we're just going to start cranking these out. We're just going to start going down through this line, get all of these done, and knock out any of these chapters as we need to go. So part of the netherite, or at least the nether stuff and all that kind of thing, is because later on goodness that happens in industrial foregoing, which is something I'm looking to try to get into fairly soon, actually in the next challenge after this is going to require us to get into a little bit of silliness, I guess, because of how things go. Plus, we're going to need to be able to make one of those, which those aren't that hard to make, and we're going to have to finally get into mechanism, which is okay. We need to actually probably touch on that today slightly anyway. But anyhow, I want to try to get as much netherite as I possibly can using the simplest method that we can do, which is going to be we're going to create this as simple as possible. And then we're going to go on with what we can. Now, we can make this using Botania. We can make this using industrial foregoing. And if we so choose, we ended up with something like 12 ancient bee spawns, which, I don't know. It's not a terrible, where is it? This guy right here. An ancient bee is not terrible. It produces an ancient comb, which then, if you run that through any measure of either using a mixing or a centrifuge, you get a 10% chance on a netherite scrap. So we've got 12 of those guys. The math would be all right. And again, it's not like we're going to need thousands and thousands of these things. I don't think. I haven't looked. I mean, I'm not quite so certain whether we need blocks or anything like that. As far as anything like those, blocks are going to be available for stuff that we're going to need. There's going to be a few things we're going to need them along the line, but as far as I can tell, like here, if we look at nether, we're going to kind of take a real quick crack here, and then we're going to go on. If we look in the netherite thingy here, there's a button where it says quests. We only ever need to hand in netherite ingots, which means we only ever need to do precision budding, which means we only ever need to craft, back out of here, click, as far as I can tell without digging through any more of these, 128 of these things to hand in order to be able to move on with all of these quests. So out of this whole mess right here, this was the hardest thing. And out of all of that, I mean, in reality, I could just go find this stuff in the nether. It's been pretty decently available. I think we're actually, we've got 27 ancient debris, and if I click on this button, we have 71 of those plus 90. So, I mean, that's, another 16 of those, which is really annoying. Plus, we're going to need this to be able to construct some of the machines later on. So I'm kind of hanging on to this, and I kind of want to use a little bit of this plus a couple other things. So I'm hoping maybe by the end of this episode, if not by the beginning of the next one, we will be turning in that quest, and we will be started into mechanisms so that we can do this. This is going to take a bit. I've already kind of experimented a little bit with this one. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to be annoying. I can craft 100, 256 ingots right now just in my hand, in my pockets, in a simple machine frame. All we need to do is make a dissolution chamber, which is something we can make right now, and I'm kind of just hanging off on those because we're going to dig towards a direction. We already have the budding amethyst. That was just me running around the nether looking for the stuff until I found it. Pretty simple, pretty easy, to the point that we're going to go upstairs because I got really tired of a couple of things. So, as you can see, we already have a couple of things ready to go. I went ahead and made the charged porter from RF Tools because this is one of my favorite things to make as far as getting back and forth in the world, which means I also needed to make a matter receiver. Get back over here. Matter receiver, matter receiver, matter receiver, matter transmitter, matter receiver. These all seem to be fairly similar, fairly of the same kind of thing, and it's beginning to make me wonder whether or not we can actually play with the RF Tools dimensions, although I'm not really seeing anything as far as those go, and again, I don't really need them for now. So those were just a couple of deals, and in all of that doing, I decided we were going to do I was going to do a couple of more little things off camera to include testing this wireless block charger out as far as what it can touch around the area. So again, the wireless block charger, which this is an interesting thing, wireless block charger can do a 7 by 7 by 7 area at a rate of 200 RF per tick per block. Now, that's pretty good for the most part on some of the lower grade machines. So I went and stuck it on the little cable that's running from here over to our machine, and I kind of played around with it, just using some other stuff, because, well, I wanted to start enchanting some stuff. I got bored of having things die and tired, and all this kind of stuff. So what I did is I went ahead and I did all of the things that I needed to do to get to a cyclic disenchanter. So disenchanter is probably going to be the quickest, easiest way to get to some of this stuff without messing with industrial foregoing. So a disenchanter is just nothing more than an enchanting table and a crystallized obsidian with a bunch of random parts. Crystallized obsidian requires you to make a solidification chamber using a piece of your block of amethyst, a little bit of crystallized ember, and some liquid slime. Crystallized amber is not terrible hard to make. It just requires some honey, magma blocks, redstone stuff. We've had all this for days and days and days. Liquid slime was a little bit of fun. That required me to make a melting chamber from cyclic so that you could just melt down whatever's in that, and a solidification chamber. Of course, those two things are pretty simple. So melting chamber, I do believe we can probably use this one later on to do a few things. Very cheap, once again. There was some interesting things in this, like this will melt down. This is, I guess, some way of doing some more things. There was a couple of, I forget exactly what was in here that I was interested in, like liquid magma is something we need in order to be able to make some other parts. But this is just some of those machines that are kind of around, plus solidification chambers, how you do a couple of things. Again, the interesting thing is 7. So 7 counts as center on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, those are just outside. 1, 2, 3, of course, those are just inside. So both of these machines are functioning just fine. Now, the reasoning why those machines are functioning just fine. These machines are just outside of it. So it kind of gives you an idea of where you can run your room. I'm going to probably say we're not going to be using them very much. If it was in a 9 by 9 area, because that makes a little bit more sense, it'd be fine. We're going to eventually go to a little bit better power transfer here, probably soon-ish. I don't know when. When we do get to that point, it will be a lot easier to put those things down. So part of the disenchanter, again, is I just went through a whole bunch of stuff and disenchanted everything we'd found as far as materials and things and stuff from all of the exploring that I've been doing. So there should be an entire box full of stuff that I pulled enchants off of, and a few other little deals. And then I did my favorite old thing of all time, which is to use the Mana Enchanter from Britannia, which is just a multi-block structure. This is just a lapis block and a bunch of obsidian and some flowers and a bunch of mana pylons. And essentially what you do is you take whatever it is that you want to play with, you strip all of the enchants off of it using whatever kind of enchanter that you want or disenchanter or thing that you want. You put the thing in the I can't put it in here, can I? Can I do this one? Yeah, you put the thing over the block, and then you drop every single book that you want to put in front of the, or will put on the item in front of the thing, or in this general area here, and then you whack it with your stick, your wand of the forest. It will calculate how much mana it needs, and then pour all of those enchants onto your tool or your thing or whatever, including this kind of stuff, using mana as the process. These two right here, just for the giggles on all of this stuff, those things I should not be able to enchant with that kind of silliness, or at least with the way this goes, doing normal processes through vanilla. It used all four of those mana pools back there to enchant both of those tools. For me, I think that's an absolute fair trade for what we're getting out of this kind of stuff. We're going to eventually get into some better stuff. I might make some more nice tools and other things like that, but I really just wanted a, one swing dead kind of thing so that we can kind of play with it. And this is one of those things that if you're using a pack that has Botania in it, it's fantastic. So it's one of my favorite ways of dealing with enchanting, and it's really not that expensive. So it just needs a good mana production. Anyhow, to the end of things. Sorry for the little delay of all the stuff. One of those kinds of things. I got to try to catch you guys up with everything that goes on. To include, I managed to kill a thing and get a helium flamingo that he's probably not worth much for us, but at this point it's kind of funny. So what we need to do is we need to get through the process of figuring out, did I wipe out all of my stuff? Yes, I did. Nice. So we need to get through the process of figuring out how to make this be as good as it can be. So the ancient debris, if we push it through over to a ore purification or an ore purifier, one ancient debris turns into pure netherite ore chunks times 2. You take those, you can either smelt them and get the netherite scrap, or you run them through a grinding process. So 1 into 2 again here will get you 2 netherite scraps. So that means, at least if I'm reading that correctly, 1 piece of ancient debris will make you 1 netherite ingot, which that's fine with me. We'll do whatever we can to make that work. So that means we're going to have to kind of work that backwards. We need to do one of those. We need to do one of those, which is going to be one of those, if I recall correctly, because the ore purifier is going to require a few things, plus a fine ore gem. So in order to get one of these, we need to make a gem crystallizer. So A in here. And where did my thing go? I didn't get where is it? Come back here. That's what we need to do as far as those go. So all of these are going to be working off of the material that is going to be built out of this system. And actually, I think what I want to do, since the majority of this is going to end up being the other direction, I'm so glad you don't lose that stuff when you break it. We'll put one of those down, put one of these down, right there. It's okay. And then we'll put the element container there with this on top. I mean, probably not for right now. Essentially, what I want to do is just make all this kind of work so that as we get this kind of stuff coming in, we'll just come down here, throw it in a chest, and then let it work. So I think really all we need to do from now on is build a few things. So we're going to kind of continue with what the quest book has, if I recall correctly. So let's see. Where are we? All right, so in all of that mess, we're going to need to make an element binder. Again, not incredibly expensive. A lot of this stuff is pretty, I guess I would call it kind of cheap, for at least for the most part, aside from these contained crystals and whatnot. And I did go and run a whole bunch more of the netherite to get that done. So, or netherrack. So another contained crystal. There you go. I knew you were around. We can see you. Go ahead and make like 16 of those for now. We have lots of those crystals. Actually, let's see how many more we have. We still have 13. Good. Put that away, and you can go in here. All right, one of those. And that, in order for us to make what we need to make, we need to be able to make swift alloy ingots. Swift alloy ingots are an air construction using an air crystal. So in order to do the whole thing, we don't need any of those there. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those and a purification thing that requires theirs. So we need to make, already lost count, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 of those, and then we need to make a pristine earth gem, which we should be able to make using the gem crystallizer, which a gem crystallizer, again, is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 swift alloy ingots, and some more stuff. Element binder, new chapters unlocked. Great. All right, cool. So you go on top of that, like so, correct? All right. Okay. Element binder is one of the most important instrument. It channels elements to combine multiple items together. Be careful because the order in which you put the items is important. You need to put them clockwise from the top. As far as for any other instruments, the binder needs to be on top of a container, but not a small container. Can be upgraded with 2 runes. Okay, now in the order that they need to go together, I need to be able to make these. So gold, drenched iron, copper ingot, redstone dust, and an air crystal, of which I need to make. Let me gather. No, we've got some air crystals. Let's go ahead and see if we can't make one of those, and then I'll get the rest of this done off camera. So gold, redstone, what else was it? Drenched iron, copper, and an air crystal and redstone. So, okay. Gold, drenched iron, copper, redstone, air crystal, right? I'm assuming this is you just clicking on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gold, drenched iron, copper, redstone, thing. Gold, drenched iron, copper, redstone, thing. All right, so that wasn't too hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cool. All right, I gotta craft a bunch of those things, so I will be right back. Alrighty, we're getting done with the last little bit. I went ahead and made a few of them. It's a very interesting process. They're kind of similar to this thing right here, in that you can place things on it, or, well, it's, you can place things on, but you can put a whole lot of the thing on one deal, and, you know, if you want to, you can just shift right click to get things back. The interesting part with this one, again, is that it's not allowing me to throw things on it, so that's just for later on automation. Use on you. We have to make, let me see, swift alloy ingots are going to be several different things. I think it's the swift mana one, so just like say for later on, we're looking at these. This one, we're going to need to make 64 of those. I guess I could stand there and do that. It's kind of annoying, but I mean, I guess I could do this, and I do believe the fluxed firite ingots require those as well, so we're gonna have to automate this little thing just for something really quick, because it's gonna end up automating something similar to what the, like, again, the runic altar will. So that's probably gonna, some of this stuff's gonna start forcing us into digital crafting and some of those kinds of things. But anyhow, we should have enough stuff now that we should be done with you. So the next part is we need a gem crystallizer. So a strongly contained one of these, which I do believe we should have all the parts for this. So a strongly contained crystal is going to be swift alloy nuggets, another one of those, and some springline shards. So that breaks down into this. Where is my crafting tablet? And you to there to this. 1. You to there to that. 1. All right, you, we need to make one of those, I think, right? Because we need, yeah, either a fine earth gem or a pristine earth gem. Click on this. So I need to make a earth crystal, which we can do, I think. Go. All right, and then you, I need to get that gem down so I know what I'm doing. That takes one of those. A fine earth gem is going to require powerful raw shards and a diamond, right? And plus one of these earth crystals in a gem crystallizer over that. There. And then we need a diamond. And I should have a bunch of like a couple of those and a diamond, I guess. Again, we're playing. One diamond, one of these, and maybe just one of those. Wow. Well, that was cool. I gotta like that animation. All right, neat. So that gets us the ore purifier, which we should now be able to craft. Yeah, you should be able to craft that one. Click, go. Oh, we need a pure crystal. Pure crystal, pure crystal, pure crystal. How do you make pure crystal? Pure infusion. Oh, right. We need to get clear into that mess. I knew this was going to take longer than I expected it to. We're kind of playing around. Again, I'm learning a mod. I've never played with this mod before, so this is a pure infuser, element infuser. We should have plenty of stuff. I just need to make another one of those. And then we need to make the pedestals. So, infuser, hit on that as well. I should be able to just make that, right? Quit clicking off the thing. One of those. One of those. This. I know. Read on that one. We already found it. I need to keep looking at these. So elemental binder, give me some more goodies. I'm being bad at not claiming stuff. Give me another one of those. Swift line ingots. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Pie. Pure infuser. The pure infuser is used to craft some of the more advanced recipes in the mod. It's used to craft all 4 elements together with items. Place each of the 4 pedestals around it with 1 block between. Provide each pedestal its element using element pipes. Place the ingredients on the correct pedestals according to the recipe and it will be crafted. Then I guess we're going to put you over here. We need to make 4 pedestals. So those are just going to be more infusing, crafting binders, things and stuff like that. Let me get those knocked out because I'm going to have to make a gem for every one of those. Yeah, let me get those knocked out real quick. Oh, I should have cut all that out. That was a lot of crafting and a lot of silliness. That's a fair amount of stuff considering that like this isn't that bad, but when you think about what it's going to take to make this crystal right here, that was, well, in order to make every one of those pedestals, every one of those pedestals required at least a fine gem or a pristine gem, which it failed to create even a fine gem on 3 out of the 4, which means I had to craft that all twice, which was fine. And then, of course, these take a good amount of time to craft. So these pedestals, they're fairly easy, fairly simple, but they took a decent amount of time. Now, I do understand that there is the ability to upgrade certain things in these, so we'll just kind of go on forward. Let's see. Water, you don't care where you place them. They just be wherever, so we'll put one of those down there. We'll put the air pedestal there. And the earth and fire there. Okay, and then we need to feed in, and I hope this is going to be enough for these. So we'll just use the small containers since we have them. And if it's not a big deal. This is water. Earth is that one. Go, this should be air. And water. So those, whether or not that's going to be enough, I have no idea. Probably looking at the size of the thing, no, that's not going to be enough. All right, so let's go ahead and cut these out and put the other ones on. Ooh, dropped right through the thing. No, come here. Probably, I don't know, we'll find out if we waste it or not. So the next step for that pure, okay, so we're done with the infuser. We're done with the gem crystallizer. We're done with that. We're done with that. All we need to do now is make 2 more things. So we need to be able to make a pure crystal, which means a fire crystal on all of those with a diamond in the center. So I'm assuming we do something like this. And like always, place some stuff on pedestals. Pedestal crafting is pretty much common. This, it's not like I haven't done this in a million other mods, but let's go see what this does. I'm assuming we have plenty of stuff. Well, let's read the manual a little bit, shall we, children? Point of the reason why I don't like quest books most of the time. They don't tell you everything you need to know about it. It says just straight up element pipes instead of the improved ones, which the improved ones require these to craft. Okay, fine. I just need 4 of them. Oh, it did it anyway. It got it done finally regardless. Okay, well that's what I get for not paying attention. Can I do this then? Can you pull that out of there? No, of course you can't. So we've wasted all of that element, whatever. It's fine. No big deal. We'll just leave these down, and then I'm going to grab you guys, fill you back up. But there is our little container, or the thing that we need. We need one of those for now, and I think we're going to have to later on do something about this, so I will probably have to build a special structure specifically for this, but I want my tanks back so we can fill them back up so we can do some more crafting. All right, so you are... This is air, water. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, that is water. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, green's almost not exactly green. And fire. Cool. All right, so those will dump off. A pure crystal will be what we need in order to be able to make this guy, which we just barely have all the stuff to do that. So let's click that. Click. Go. Hit. Thank you very much. Ore purifier. And I believe the use on this one... What we're going to be going for again, it should be nothing but earth. So from here on out, this is probably how this is going to work. Depending on how much this is going to take, is whether or not we're going to be making a whole lot of this or not a whole lot of this or whatever. Go. Empty. Oh, that's a big tank. I forgot. We may end up going ahead and if we have enough left over, we'll probably going ahead and just taking those to where they can go. So that, supposedly, if I click one of these in there, should give us 2 of these. Amazing. Okay, where's your coolie little instrument thingies? We'll go ahead and do that into a chest. And a hopper, not that that really matters, it'll just pump those out into there. So the last step is going to be a mill so we need to make a grindstone with some carpets and a white rock and another one of those. So let's see, carpet, white rock, we've got all that stuff. Yeah, we should be good except for the drenched iron ingots. So a millstone, grindstone there. Can I make one of those? No, I need to make a stone slab. All right, air, crystal, millstone, go. Click on the right thing, click there, click go, click done. One of those, please. All right, and then you, I believe, sit on that. Right? All right. And then I take one of these, and I put it in there. All right. Netherite scrap. And every single one of those pieces of netherite will now turn into... Well, like I said, 1 netherite ingot. So since it takes 4 netherite scrap to make 1 netherite ingot here, that should be able to get us through a few other things. Plus, if we ever really feel like we need to be able to play with Tetra, I can't believe that's what they want for those, but whatever. Anyhow, that's apparently fairly slow. I do know there are upgrade runes that we can put in here, and that's going to be something we'll probably have to fool with as we kind of wander along a little bit more. Plus, there's a little bit better element extractor, which is, again, another pure crystal. And then pure rock, elemental growing in this book of spells. There's all kinds of other things. Source stabilizers, which I think I probably should be getting a look at doing. Clicking here can be placed on a source to prevent it from being broken. It also slightly boosts our recovery rate, which is cool. And then we have shrines and a couple other things. So that's kind of where I wanted to get with this particular mod, at least for right now. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be every little bit of that we get is going to be run through a process similar to that. So we'll just input the netherite or the ancient debris into an ore purifier, pull it out, and then I guess I probably could just move these two guys a little bit closer to each other so that all I do is just toss something into one, bring it out into the other, and it'll be outputted here as netherite scrap. So that's amazing. I was hoping to get to the end of that challenge today, but at that rate, we're going to have to probably look at some of the upgrades that those can get. Very quickly, let's see what we get. Alrighty, I think for right now we're going to call that. It is working, albeit very slowly and inhaling a considerable amount of the air material, so we're probably going to have to work on doing a little bit better. I think what we'll probably end up doing for that matter is I'm probably just going to tear out everything that I don't really need at this point, put this one on this direction over here, and then just pump it full of as much of the air sources as we have, because we should have several more sources. Yeah, I've got plenty of sources, as well as probably the same thing with the earth, because anything we throw in here as far as ores is going to be processed reasonably well and doubled nicely. That ore purifier thing here will do double into anything that we put into that. And so that means, like, if we really wanted to get silly with how we're making our material up there right now, we can take those chunks, turn them into osmium ore chunks, which we'll get 4 of those, and every single one of those, again, can either be smelted into an ingot, or if you run it through, I think that's all we can do with those for that matter. It's a bad option, bad thing. So we can take moon, dash ore, turn it into chunks. Chunks can, again, more or less be turned into other things, smelted or whatever. That looks like that's it. So that grindstone is kind of fun too. Millstone. This. It's kind of fun too. It has a few more uses. You can get various things out of it, including this gravel. We get inert crystals, netherite scraps, blaze powders, white dyes, lots of just normal stuff that you normally would expect to be able to get out of it, to include that little process right there. And, you know, it is what it is. We could use it for a whole lot more than what we're doing right now, and I am definitely going to have to make a little bit more stuff for that to work a little bit better. But I think for now, I'm going to call it. We should actually be close enough. We might be able to turn that one in. Hang on a minute. I was going to say we were going to call it. Where is my scrap? I got a lot of scrap, so we just need to make a little bit more. Use. No. R. Recipe. That. All right, so that's going to take, yeah, we're going to have to kind of work on those a little bit. I will have this prepped and ready to turn in by the next episode, because this is going to take a really long time. This episode's already going to take me quite a while to chop up and actually work out anyway. So I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to hand in a few more things and start working on some new tech in the next episode. So, bye. It's actually kind of cool. I like it.